So hello, everybody. My name is Matt Barlow. I'm the recreation specialist, I guess, because I'm actually changing to a recreation supervisor soon here, but in charge of soccer for youth and adults, I guess, at the indoor Southeast as well. Some of you have seen me. Um, Thanks for coming, and thanks for the people who are online. And as I said in the email earlier today, we'll also be recording this and then sending it out as well with all the little flyers and stuff that coaches and parents got. So even if you're not here, which I guess if you're not here, you're not hearing this, but you'll get everything. You're going to get it even if you are here. I do communicate a lot via email, and that's the easiest way to reach almost 600 participants. So check your email, please. If you're not getting my email, let me know. There are 2 emails that bounce back out of about 580, and I'm working on getting those correct emails. But that means 2 people didn't get that information for tonight, so I'm sorry. Got to make sure your email is correct in our system, or if it's not, send me an email, or if you want to add your wife or your grandparents or whatever, you can add that, but they'll get possibly an email a week, possibly more. I'm going to send updates. I'm going to send things about stuff that we're going to talk about tonight as they come up through the season. Where's my clicker? Here we go. So, welcome and thank you. Some cute pictures from one of our past seasons. Here's some things we're going to go over: our staff, our philosophy, roster formation, important dates, website and some forms, rules, and how to help your coaches. And I'll be helping the coaches as well. Derek Tripp is my superintendent. Todd is my supervisor. He was out, actually standing right there in the back. And Marlinda is also out there, was probably at the door. And she's always usually out there on Saturdays as one of my field supervisors, as it says up there. And I said earlier, email communication is best. I get it on my phone. I'm rarely in front of a phone. I'm out and about all the time at different places. So email is best. Even if you do call, you're going to get voicemail. You can leave me a voicemail. I'm going to get it in my email anyway, but it's easier for me to return emails than it is phone calls just because of my schedule. All right. A little bit about myself before I go into the philosophy. So it's going to sound like a brag, but it's to explain to you where I'm coming from. I played college soccer. I love soccer. I love all sports. I played all sports growing up. I coached over 50 seasons of soccer. I have coaching licenses from the United States. I have them from Brazil. I have from Holland. I have from England. I've been a certified referee for 25 years. I have a master's degree in sports management. I'm a certified park and rec professional. I'm a certified youth sports administrator through NAYS, which some of the coaches will get familiar with. So the point of telling you all that is that I'm going to use that experience. I don't know everything about soccer. I don't know everything. I'm open to suggestions, but I'm going to use that experience to give you guys the best possible experience that I can. It's not going to be perfect. I can tell you some mistakes already. I'm pretty sure I double listed at least 1 kid on a roster. So it's probably going to get a call from 2 coaches, and I can't find out which one it is. It's embarrassing, but it happens because I'm doing this kind of manually in Excel. And when I start moving kids around, these mistakes happen sometimes. So worst case scenario, a parent's going to email me and say 2 coaches have reached out to me. Which team am I on? And I'll let them know and take them off the other. And we can maybe bring somebody in off a wait list. We'll see. All right. So our philosophy. We are a recreational league, and that's in big bold letters for a reason, because it's for fun. It's not about trophies. We don't do trophies. It's not about championships. We don't do championships. We don't even do playoffs. We'll talk about that as well. And the reason is it's competitive enough as it is, especially it mostly comes from the parents, to be honest. The kids are out there having fun, and the parents want to win. Well, as you see as we get down there, physical, emotional, and social growth while learning the fundamental skills. Coaches and parents care more about the wins and losses than the kids do. The kids just want the snack after the game, and they want, to hang out with their friends, right? So we don't keep standings in 4 and under, 6 and under, or 8 and under, or even keep score, technically. Although, believe me, the kids know the score, and so do the parents. But it's not important. We do keep score and standings: 10U, 12U, 14U, 15U. All of the children, hopefully, participating an equal amount of time, but we'll talk about that in a little bit more detail too, because it's not a hard and fast rule, but it should be that way if everyone's doing what they're supposed to do. And allow all children to have fun. And you're going to hear that this kind of speech over and over as we go through things when we're talking about referees, when we're talking about everything. So yeah, you got the care flyer if you came in either as a parent or coach, hopefully. All this stuff is also posted on our website, which was probably if you got the email I sent maybe last Sunday or Saturday. I was actually in New Zealand at the Women's World Cup on Saturday and just got back. So another brag, sorry. Yeah, care, cheer for players on each team, accept imperfection, respect opponents, officials, and the game, and encourage your player to continue trying. So read those, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but read those flyers and try to live that. You don't need to be coaching your child. It's going to drive them away from the sport when you're a parent, right? Unless you're asked to coach, unless you're asked to be an assistant coach. But telling them, you got to do this and you got to do that, it's going to drive them crazy. Trust me. And you're going to hear it from me if I hear it from you, because I'll be at the games and I'm going to try my best to keep you from coaching and just to cheer, which means encouragement and saying, good job, good try, way to go, those things. NAYS is, again, our National Alliance for Youth Sports. So it's a group that we partner with, and we follow their guidelines for things like keeping score, keeping standings, and all other things in sports. So I'm going to try to see if we can get this video to play. Will you think it'll work?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right, you guys ready? I prefer that my parents, if I play bad, don't say anything. And if I play well, it doesn't really matter if they compliment me on how I play. I just I don't know, I prefer my parents to, not talk as much.
I can hear them cheering me on, and I'm thinking in my head, just shut it, I'm trying to focus.
My mom yells in Spanish,
go, go, go.
My mom usually says, use the backboard. You should use the backboard. I get angry because it annoys me.
I'm kind of embarrassed. She tells me to get in the position that my coach told me not to get in. I'm like, well, no. And then she's like, get in your position. I'm like, no.
I get a little tense when I have a certain score to get, and she's like, you gotta get that whatever score. And I'm like, I don't like it when they try to push me even more, even though I'm trying really, really hard.
Coming from the coach's mouth is kind of better, I feel like, because your parents are there to support you and your coach is there to help you,
You just start screaming, Valentina, run faster, make a basket. But I just start going slower every time when she says that.
The other people were like, wow, that mom is really wanting her kid to win.
In my inside, you can't see it, but I'm inside saying, be quiet, be quiet, be quiet. Sometimes I just look into space.
I try to listen to them and then do what they say to so they don't start yelling again. I don't really want them to give me that much advice because then I might forget it all. Sometimes I get nervous when they yell and nobody else is yelling.
Sometimes it can embarrass me, a lot.
Wait. What's going on? We're just trying to do this, but you want us to try harder?
Well, I am.
I'm not going into a game not trying my hardest. That'd be messed up.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure.
Sometimes when they try to get the ball in basketball, you kind of think in your head that they're kind of gonna push you and you're gonna fall and hurt yourself.
They don't need to
always be like telling me what to do like every minute of the game. They kind of just gotta let me play.
I love when you say like really nice. I got it, Mom.
I'd like to look back and I'd like to see you like smile or like give me a thumbs up.
Mom, I wish you would be a little bit quieter. Say like you play good and like you couldn't get them next time. When they smile and say like good job.
Mom and Dad, thank you for loving me. I love
Be my supporter.
when I'm upset, my mom and dad cheer me up.
Sometimes I forget about all the work that they do for me.
Be my biggest fan.
We need a lot of love. I want you to know
I need big hugs.
I love the snacks that you bring me. It makes me happy when you always encourage me.
Thank you, Mom and Dad.
Please just be my mom and dad. Yep, that's it.
I put this in because it's important to me and it should be important to you. And Aurora is a diverse place, and that's great. So it speaks for itself. We don't tolerate any type of discrimination based on any race, religion, and on and on and on, right? So just know that if we hear that, it will be dealt with and it will be severe. All right. So roster formation. This is a big part of the job for me, right? So 500 and, like I said, 80 plus kids register per age, well, not per age group, around 100 per age group or so, and I have to put them into rosters. It's not a perfect science, obviously, and so I need you guys to help me. I look at coach requests and I give them as much as I can, but when the roster limit is 12 and 14 kids want the same coach, the last two generally don't get that coach. And that's hard, but it's really what you're going to make it into. Are you going to say to your kid, you didn't get your coach? Oh, that's a bummer. Or are you going to say, hey, you get a new coach and you're going to get to make some new friends. This is going to be awesome. Because it is. It's just how you put a spin on it. Friend requests, same thing. I try to get as many as I can. Some people come in late with a friend request. I can't fit it. It's too much work to adjust all these rosters as much as I already am going to over the next couple of days even. Location is the next thing that I look at. Aurora is a big place. I try to get you as close as I can, but again, it doesn't work out perfect. If I've got a roster of 12 and 14 people live in Vista Peak, people are going to have to travel a little bit from Vista Peak. That's just the way it goes. I still try to put you as close as possible. But for example, I think it might have been even Emily's team, right? And she was kind enough. I think you're in Southeast. So she's in Southeast, and that's where I live as well. And half the team is kind of from that area, but half the team is from Vista Peak. So we're going to just meet in the middle near Murphy Creek area. So yes, there's going to have to be a little bit of traveling for both people, but it's 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. I'd love it to be, walkable from your house right around the corner at the park. But obviously that's just not feasible for a place as big as Aurora. And again, with the amount of kids that I'm dealing with, I do my best to get everybody in the best place I can. So try to be flexible. I understand also there's conflicts with different nights of the week and things like that. Do the best you can. If I can switch you, I will. But a lot of the age groups are locked in with full teams. 4U plays 3-on-3. And I gave most 4U teams 7 players. The reason I give 7 players for 4U is there's a lot of anxiety at 4U and butterfly chasing and other things like that. So, and watching, the 4U games this past spring and the teams that had 6, there was a lot of times where they maybe only had 2 or 3. And so I figure with 7, hopefully you'll at least have 4 or 5 at a game. So we'll see. And there's other things. I mean, soccer's not the most important thing. So there's other conflicts that families have and travel and, family things. That's important too. As long as people are communicating with their coaches, I don't have any issue. I said here, register early helps your chances for requests. So we talked about that. If you're the last two to pick a coach and it's full, chances are you may lose out on that, but we have lots of great coaches. The reason I put gender is not a priority is that I don't look at the rosters and go, okay, this team has 4 boys and this team has 8 boys. It's not fair. I don't subscribe to that. Some of the girls are much better than the boys. So it doesn't make any difference to me. And it's a recreational soccer. If you end up on a team, the one issue we have is we end up on a team with 1 girl. It's not ideal. I don't do it on purpose. I don't think it's going to happen, but it could. I don't look at it that closely, and sometimes I can't tell from the names anyway. But again, what kind of spin are you going to put on it? Oh, she's the only girl. This is terrible. Or it'll be fine. Just go and play. So again, if we come across that problem, I will try to address it, but I don't look at gender as a huge deal. One team's going to have more girls or boys or whatever than the other, and that's just the way it is. So if you need to change teams, just email me. I don't need 500 emails, but if you really have a serious issue, then contact me, and I'll do my best. Again, in some of those younger age groups especially, the rosters are jam-packed. So unless I happen to get 2 emails on the same day where people can crisscross perfectly to another team, I can't put an 8th player on a 4U team or a 10th player on a 6U team. So the 6U teams usually have 8 or 9 for the same sort of reason. They play 4v4, but with 9, it gives you that little extra cushion if you have an illness or an absence. I'm sorry, my throat is very hoarse. I've been coaching a soccer camp all week, and I've been doing a lot of yelling. Not yelling, but, loud talking. So yeah, hopefully that's clear about changing teams. So here's important dates, and I can send this out, and some of this is on the website as well, but practices begin next week. I'm working with all the coaches right now, getting them their rosters and having them choose their practice times. So if they have their roster and they've chosen their practice time, they're going to reach out to you, hopefully, in the next day or 2, but no later than Sunday, coaches. Please, preferably tomorrow or Saturday at the latest, because again, then I'll begin getting emails. I haven't heard from my coach and so on. And coaches, when you email, ask for a response. If an email bounces back, let me know. It could also go to their spam, so you may want to text or call. And do both and ask for responses and check them off. And if you get to a week or whatever and, hey, Coach, hey, Matt, I haven't heard from Stan Smith. Can you figure out if there's another contact number or email? I'll try reaching out too, or look in the system to see if there's another way to reach out. Game schedules will be released no later than August 12th. First game is August 19th. Oh, Friday the 18th. So I haven't sent this out to coaches yet. You'll have the opportunity to, if you want to either replace your practice if you're practicing on Friday, or add an additional practice, or you can not practice at your regular day and practice on Friday. At ASP is Aurora Sports Park. So that's the game fields. Beautiful fields if you haven't been out there. Basically like professional class fields. And yeah, so I'll be sitting out. You can either do 4:30 to 6 or 6 to 7:30, basically, unless we don't have enough to fill all the spots. I can be flexible with the time a little bit. Fridays, so first weekend of games is August 9th. All the games will be on Saturdays for the most part, and I'll explain that in the time frame of probably 8 to about 3 or 4 p.m. It'll vary a little bit, but some of the age groups will have like blocks, but I haven't figured all that out yet. I have to look at it and figure out how it works with the number of referees and a lot of pieces of the puzzle. And also sometimes coaches have requests. So if coaches do have requests, let me know tonight or very soon. Meaning if on September 30th, you can only play at 8:30, you need to let me know. Otherwise, once I make the schedule, I can't make those changes. It's too much because it doesn't just affect you, it affects the opponent, and then it affects 2 other teams that I have to switch with. So it's too much. Anybody online has questions, you guys can type in the chat. Randy, would you be able to see those if they typed? Okay. And we'll have question and answer at the end too, so if I don't cover anything. Fridays, we have the one turf field available, which we used a lot in the spring because the spring was crazy weather. If we need to use it for games, we can, or we can use it for extra practices, or I can do some clinics like goalkeeping or whatever like that, depending on how it is by the time we get to September 15th, 29th, or October 13th. If there's teams that are like, hey, I really want to play a game on a Friday night, let me know that too. It needs to be probably 10 and under, 12 and under, or 15 and under to play on that field because it's crossways and it's a big field. It can't be 4U or 6U. It could be 8U maybe. But 4U and 6U is too small, and we use different size goals for that. Picture day is the 16th. So the way that'll work is I'll send out information for you to order pictures if you want. You don't have to order anything. We just want people to be in the picture. It's no fun having a team of 12 people in a team picture with 4 people in it. So just be there for that day if you can. It'll be set up. I'll send an email out to the coaches and say, sign up for a time. There'll be like a link from the company, and you'll sign up for a time either before or after your game that week, and you'll do your picture right there at the field, and then go to your game or go home if you've done with your game. Makeup date is September 30th for that. We also are going to have Aurora Night at the Colorado Rapids, so I'll send information about that when I get the flyer. Final weekend of games, assuming no rainouts or other issues, is October 14th. But please keep the 21st, 28th, and 4th available. I hope that we don't have to use 3 Saturdays of makeup, but if we do, we want everybody to participate. So if you can, block that off. If we had to use all of that, we could use Sunday afternoons also if we had to. And then I have the Fridays, usually only on the turf fields. So we can do some makeups then if we had to as well. Uniforms. Coaches will receive jerseys for the players on your roster if you completed the following. Well, we have some new, very new coaches because I've been recruiting coaches since I've been back on Saturday. So all week I've been filling probably 7 or 10 spots, and we're down to maybe only needing 1 coach. So if anyone wants to coach 6U, let me know. So they're supposed to have done all those things, but they will do all those things. I think everyone's done the coach agreement at least, is in the process of the background check, and is working on concussion certificates if they haven't done it yet. I'll also send NAES training, which is volunteer coach and soccer specific training. And so if the coaches do all of these trainings and complete the season in good standing, you're eligible for a 50% rebate on your registration for your child. Okay? And that'll come a week or 2 after the end of the season. But you do have to do all that, including the NAES training, which is a little bit longer. The concussion training is like 20 minutes. The NAES ones is 2 hours, I'd say. But it's good information, and it will help you be a better coach, and you'll become a NAES certified coach. For the uniforms, there's a limited number. Usually, again, for like 4U, for example, most you're going to have on your team is 7. You probably have 8 jerseys in your bag. And there's probably 6 extra smalls and 2 smalls. So make sure that you don't start giving out uniforms the first day when only 4 of the people are there, and then realize you've got to swap because Johnny needed the bigger one and Susie needed the smaller one or whatever. And that's, bigger, different size ranges in different age groups, you know what I mean? And there's always an extra 1 or 2. And I want you to keep those in your bag that you bring to the games in case a kid forgets their jersey. But at the end of the season, if you have extras that weren't used, just return them to me. And that way I can reuse them the next season and save a little bit of money. So can't stress that enough. Don't give out the uniforms until you've seen all of the kids, right, for size reasons. And don't get into, I need number 10, and it's the wrong size. You're just going to have to take a size that fits. I would line them up from smallest to biggest and hand them out from smallest to biggest as best you can. If there's really a size issue, let me know. Because we have a lot of same colors in the different age groups, I can say, Coach, give me your extra, size small, so I can give it to the other team, and so on. We can swap. On the website, our rules are posted. I gave copies of the rules to the coaches. If you didn't get one, they're out on the desk. I'm sorry, I don't think I gave it to everybody, but you can always pull it up on the website. The picture day and Rapids game info will be there as well. Display It Again Sports is our sponsor. As you saw, there's a 15% coupon. So if you need shin guards or a ball or cleats, that's a great place to go. It's off Hampton. Schedules. will be available by 5 p.m. on teamsideline.com/Aurora. That website is also on the youth soccer website. So if you Google Aurora Youth Soccer, it's usually the first one that comes up. If not, just look for the auroragov.org website. That's youth soccer. Spectator Code of Conduct. So we thankfully used to, have this long Spectator Code of Conduct, which is also on the website. I encourage you to go and read it because you're responsible for your behavior when you're at the field. It talks about things like profanity, alcohol, other things that hopefully you realize have no place at youth sports. As of only July 20th or something, it was put into the registration as a click box. So a lot of people probably didn't see it, but instead of having the coaches, what they used to have to do is take this piece of paper and get everybody to sign it that they read it. No one's reading it, to be honest. Anyway, they're just signing the paper, and then they find out later that they're suspended. No, I really haven't done any suspensions in 4 years, but anyway, just read it and make sure you understand what you're responsible for. Weather, inclement weather. So if a game day is going to be, I don't like to cancel, obviously, and we will play in the rain if the fields are open. Not pouring rain, because that's probably going to close the fields, and certainly not a thunderstorm we're not going to play in. But soccer can be played in the rain. It's not a big deal. Again, it's the kind of the spin that you put on it for your parent or for your kid. Hey, you get to play in the rain. It's going to be fun. So yeah, if it is canceled, I will send an email out to all the parents, just like I did today, and to the coaches. I would love for the coaches to disseminate, make sure their parents know that it's canceled so that it won't have people showing up. Worst thing that happens is somebody shows up and no one's there. Practices, unless an email is sent out. So sometimes I'll get an email from our parks people and they'll say, all fields are closed today, so no practices. I'll pass that on. If it's like today where it's raining there but not there and whatever, you've got to make the call, okay? If you need to, go out and check the field. Is it got standing water? It's probably not a great idea, but if the field doesn't, if you didn't get an email from me saying the field was closed, you can make that determination, because I don't know what it's doing in Northeast versus Southeast versus whatever. And I'm not, I can't guess. But err on the side of caution, especially if we're talking about thunderstorms. As you know, almost every night it seems like we're having afternoon thunder showers. So if you hear thunder or see lightning, I wouldn't be out there. Could you imagine having to explain a death for going to a soccer practice? It's not worth it. I want you to practice, but just be smart. So I added this slide in this year. We've been doing this now for 3 or 4 seasons. Each season we ask parents and players to nominate a coach and referee of the season. So I usually do this on a week, like 2 weeks before the end of the season. So it'll be week 6 out of 8 for the fall. And put a little box out and have you come over and nominate your coach if you want, nominate another coach if you want, nominate yourself if you want, nominate your favorite ref. If you don't know the ref's name, I'll tell you. And you can see up there, Coach Steve and the referee Isaiah were this spring's award winners. So just wanted to pop that in there. Coaching. So if you were a new coach and you came tonight, you got that little coaching book. That's just a small little thing that you're a part of what you're going to get. You're going to get emails from me with books, ebooks, websites, videos, and anytime you want to ask me for help, again, I want to use my coaching experience to help you. If you want me to come out and run a session, I will. It's hard for me to do it for 50 plus teams, but I will try. I try to make it out to at least one of your practices during the season. Sometimes I don't make it to everyone, especially if I know you as a coach for a long time. I know you're doing a great job. Otherwise, I like to come watch the new coaches just to see. So yeah, hit me up for anything you need on the coaching side. I said on the middle there, do not cancel practice unless you have to. A parent can cover or ask me. Please email me if you're canceling or have a sub coach for a practice or game. Part of that is because I do just sometimes drive around and visit practices. I don't like to drive up to Northeast and then find out that the team's not there. I guess I could let you know in advance, but I would hope that you would let me know in advance if you were going to cancel practice. That way I don't have to be asking everybody all the time, are you practicing? So yeah, we can fill in for games. We can have a staff member like myself or Marlinda fill in for games if you need to. If you're missing a Saturday, it's not a problem. But if you can, get a parent to help so that we can focus on kind of monitoring all the fields. But we're happy to step in anytime. Make it fun, limit laps, lines, and lectures. So old school, right, is, all right, everybody, take 2 laps, right? Well, why not at least have them dribble the ball? Or maybe just skip that. Think of something, maybe when they first show up, put 2 cones right there as a goal and 2 cones over there as a goal. You 2 guys are the first ones here. You're playing 1-on-1. Next person comes, you're playing 2-on-1. Next person comes, you're playing 2-on-2 till everybody gets there. They're playing soccer, and it's not a waste of time. A lap, while yes, it provides some fitness, it's just not developing skills in the 1 hour or 1 hour and a half time that you have once a week with these kids. So the most important thing is for them to be doing stuff with a ball. If everyone can have a ball and you're doing it, even better, especially at the younger ages. The more you can do games where everybody has a ball. Yes, when you get to a real game, it's only 1 ball. And when the ball gets stolen at 4U and 6U, it's devastating. But, you know, that's part of the game, and they have to learn that. So we'll get there. Laps, lines, lectures. Laps, lines. Lines just means if you've got a team of 15 people, you shouldn't have a single file line of 15 kids doing one thing. That means 14 people are resting while 1 is working. You can make 3 or 4 or 5 lines and do the same thing, hopefully. Get a parent out there to do a group of whatever they're doing, right? So try not to have long lines where kids are waiting. And lectures is just meaning, you know, when you're at a practice, the kids don't want to hear you talk the entire time. Or, you know, okay, bring it in, and now we're going to sit here for 10 minutes and talk about something. They don't want to play, right? So keep them playing as much as you can. Yes, you still have to coach and you have to talk. I get it. Just limit it as best you can. Team names. So the one important thing to know is when your coach does contact you, coach, make sure you tell them your last name, because that's how it's going to be listed on the game schedule. So it'll be it'll be Barlow, or probably just say Barlow, I think. But I want you by week 1 or week 2 to talk to the kids and get a team name. A lot of times it's based on your jersey color, but it doesn't have to be. You can be Manchester United, you can be the Slippery Snakes or whatever, because we get a lot of fun, creative names. We had the Blue Oxalotls. We had, and the kids came up with that. We've had a lot of great names. I can't even remember all. Thunder Chickens was one, I think. Anyway, yeah, I love it. So obviously, just need to be appropriate and fun. So, and then send that to me, and then I will change the schedule to say Thunder Chickens, parentheses, Barlow, okay? Because I definitely want to be on the Thunder Chickens. Soccer rules. So rules vary from each age group. 4U is coach, ref, and run. So the 4U doesn't have refs, doesn't need refs, to be honest, and really 6U doesn't either, but it's a training ground for my young refs. Please respect the intent and spirit of our league-specific rules. We'll talk a little bit about some of those in a minute. The rules are found on our website, and we do have some copies out front as well. Safety is paramount, so that's talking about slide tackling and heading and some other things we'll touch on in a minute. And how to deal with coaches or field supervisors if issues arise. So that's basically just saying, if you think your coach is not playing your child enough or whatever issue it is, come and talk to us. Come and talk to me so I can talk to your coach. If you can't talk to your coach, hopefully you can talk to your coach about it. But yeah, you can talk with the field supervisors. If there's an issue at a game with another parent, don't go to the other parent and, on the other team and start something. Just come to us and I'll come over, or Marlinda will come over, and we'll listen for the problem. And if we hear it, we'll address it. Okay? Referees are referees, but we'll talk about that. So here's equal playing time is required for all players. Asterisk. Asterisk is your kid showing up to practice? Are you bringing your kid to practice? Is he or she participating in practice? Is he causing trouble at practice? The coach can then vary playing time a little bit. If everyone's there and giving their best effort, playing time should be equal. Okay, that's all I'm asking for. And so, coaches, if you do have an issue, you can let me know, or you can let the parent know, hey, I haven't seen you guys in 2 weeks at practice, but you're coming to the games. Just understand that you may not get as much playing time. It may not be equal for your child, because the practice is just as important as the game. In fact, it's more important. You're getting more touches at practice, and you're part of a team. So it's teaching commitment. It's teaching commitment. Obviously, coaches, assistant players, parents, spectators, so on, prohibited from approaching or negatively conversing with referees. Again, come to the field supervisor, which may be me or Marlinda or someone else, and address it. And I'll talk to the referees. If you've been at the games, you see me out on the field almost between every quarter at one field or the other talking to the referees about something. And it's either something they did well or something they can improve on. We also do a referee training, which is coming up that same Friday night, the 18th. So I train and I email the referees every week things that they can do better. So I know some of the feedback after the season is the referees need more training. I can't give them any more training than I'm already giving them, really, to be honest. And if you want a referee, come referee. We need more referees, because it's not an easy job. And some of these are 14, 15, 16-year-old kids. And obviously we want to keep them as referees. So abusing referees does not, okay? Does not allow them to flourish. We don't use yellow and red cards. That was something I inherited when I first got here, and that's fine with me. I guess it caused some, makes kids upset. But at the same time, it's very clear to the referees that I say to them, if you need to tell a kid he's done something that's a yellow card offense, coach, number 9 needs to be subbed off the field. He needs to take a timeout and come back in a few minutes. Or if it's something more serious, which I have not ever had, but if somebody were to hit someone or do something crazy, they would be ejected from the game. Another rule we have is if a parent is ejected from a game, which again, I haven't had. I have spoken to parents about stuff, but I haven't ejected one. If you're ejected from the game, your child is leaving with you. So it's affecting them directly. And that's not what we want, obviously. So yeah, games may also be stopped or terminated if necessary by staffer or officials. So if Marlinda comes over and says this game is over, it's not like, oh, the ref didn't say that. It's over. Marlinda said it's over, it's over. Again, hasn't happened. Don't want it to happen. Game lengths vary a bit. It's shorter for the little kids, longer for the older kids. It goes up to 15-minute quarters. We do quarters, which is a recreational thing, but there's no issue there. It's just to add a little coaching in between the quarters. 15 minutes for 15U, and 4U is like 8-minute quarters, and everything in between for the ages in between. We talked about standings already. 5-goal rule means really at any age, but obviously, again, we're only keeping score for 10U, 12U, and 15U. If a team goes up by 5 goals, then that team must remove a player. If they go up by 6 goals, the other team can add a player and go back and forth until it gets to, like, I forget, it's in the rules, I think, but it's till it doesn't, you can't go to like 20 versus 1. You can go to like 8 versus 5 or something like that, depending on whatever the numbers are. Heading is not allowed in 4U, 6U, 8U, and 10U. It's not recommended, but it's not outlawed. That's just for brain protection. So you shouldn't be coaching heading at those younger ages. You can certainly coach it at 12U or 15U, but make sure you know what you're doing. You won't see a ton of heading in our games, but that's okay. There is no slide tackling, and the key word there is tackling. So if somebody does slide to save a ball from going out of bounds or slide to score a goal and they're not near anyone, it's not a foul. If it's a tackle or even close to anyone, the referee has their discretion to be able to call that as a foul. It's just for safety, obviously. Offside is only done in 10U, 12U, and 15, so it's not in 8 and not obviously in 6 or 4. What's the score? No, just kidding. Build out line in 8U only, so if you're an 8U coach or team player, when there's a goal kicker, when the goalie has the ball, there's a dotted line that the kids have to get behind, the other opposing team has to get behind before the ball is played out. The coaches will figure that out. It's not a big deal. Defensive walls in 6U or 4U. We had it's amazing that a coach was able to get 6 and under to make a wall. But they made a wall, and we don't have goalies in 6U or 4U, and the goals are only 5 feet wide. So once you put 4 kids across, the whole goal was blocked. So I had to put in a rule that said the maximum number of kids in a wall for 6U or 4U is 2 kids. So I just added that in there recently. So if hopefully everyone understands what I'm talking about. If not, we can talk about it later. So referee is a national problem. To be honest, because of these meetings that I have, it's not a big problem for me because our parents abide by the things that I've talked about for 99%. I have more refs than I can use, which is fantastic. So just remember things like it's not okay to yell at me. It's not okay to yell at the kids. They're here for the kids. That's Jayla, one of our young referees. It's a couple pictures, a couple years old, but and it says I will be right on 50% of every call because half the people are going to disagree, right? I mean, that's the nature of reffing sometimes. And understand, calls are subjective and people are going to disagree, but you got to move on as quickly as possible. And you got to teach your kids to do the same. So you'll see the uniforms. This got a little bit of an older one because it has a different sponsor on the back, but Play It Again Sports is there. Yeah, you'll get a jersey. You can wear any shorts you want, or pants. You just need shin guards and socks over the shin guards. So I wear shin guards under their socks over the shin guards. So for some kids, that's uncomfortable, I guess, or maybe they like it as like a football battle type of thing. I don't know why they like the shin guards on the outside, but it's a law of the game and it's a safety issue. So I'm not going to tell a kid he can't play. I'm going to try to ask him next time, make sure you switch it. And I'll tell the refs that as well. And obviously religious head coverings, medical bracelets, all that stuff can be worn. I would ask that parents not go and put names or other things on the jerseys because we just want to keep things equitable for all the teams. Doesn't, make sense, hopefully. Jewelry is prohibited. This one's tough. There's always one a season that gets their ears pierced right before the season and can't take them out. I don't know how that works. I've never had my ears pierced. But if they can't take them out, then they can't play. We try not to be mean about it, but it's a safety issue again with with things that can poke, ball hits you there, so on. So, or certainly you don't want hoops and other things that could be pulled on. Same with necklaces, same with watches. We'll see quite a few watches and Apple Watches and all these other things. So yeah, help us out. No jewelry, please. Parents, help your coaches. Be on time for drop off and pickup. I laughed because there was a late pickup today at camp. And I don't know if I should share this story. No, I'm not going to share it. There was a late pickup today at camp. And it was unfortunate. But the child did get picked up just 50 minutes late. So communicate with your coaches. They're going to be reaching out to you. Be checking your spam. Emails could go into your spam. And communicate if you're going to be absent. It's not fair. I mean, I coached the 15U team in the fall, and I don't think I had a single practice with every kid there. And it was really disappointing for me. I get it. Again, it's recreational soccer. It's not everyone's #1 priority, but you could at least let me know, because a lot of times it was not people letting me know. So I'm planning a practice for 12 people, and I have 4. What am I going to do? I mean, I can do it, but it's not, I have to change my plan radically. So communicate with your coaches. We talked about this, teach commitment and teamwork. That's, again, showing up. Mom, I don't want to go to practice. You're going, right? You made a commitment to play. Let's go. If there's an issue, bring it to me and I'll see if I can make it better for you guys. Be respectful and care. We talked about that flyer. Dealing with injuries. Again, obviously, if we have injuries in games, we ask the refs to stop the game. But understand that a kid falling down on the ground may not be an injury. You know what I mean? And they don't have to stop the game for that. If a kid gets hit in the head with the ball, we're going to stop the game right away. Anything for the head, we're going to stop right away. Getting kicked, your toe stepped on, it hurts, but it's not necessarily an injury if you understand what I mean. After a minute or two or three, or even after a little bit of crying, it's okay. Kicked in the shin, it hurts. Ball to the stomach, it hurts, but you're gonna be okay. If we have serious injuries with knees, ankles, or other things, obviously we're gonna stop the game and deal with that. I'm also a CPR instructor, so I'm CPR certified, obviously. We have an AED nearby as well. So we're prepared for all scenarios, and so is my staff. Volunteer to help with the snack list. So important. Take that off your coach's plate, and be the snack mom or dad, just to coordinate it with the rest of your team so everybody takes a turn or shares a turn or whatever it is. And then be a parent and not a coach unless asked. Sitting on the sideline at practice, you can't be yelling instructions to your child when the coach is trying to do the same thing. It doesn't work. It's not productive for the child. I know it's hard. You want what's best for your child. I get it. But the coach needs to be the voice. If you want to coach, ask the coach, can I assist? I'm sure they will be happy to have you assist. Right. You make all the difference. Thank you guys. So I feel like there's things I forgot, but I think I also gave a lot of information. But does anybody have any questions? So one of the things, again, just to remind you, you should hear from your coach by Sunday at the latest. If you don't hear from him by Sunday evening, you can email me and I will connect you as best I can, or as quickly as I can. I'm on email almost, 10, 12, 15 hours a day, 7 days a week, unfortunately. But that's my choice. Again, it comes on my phone, so I see it. And if I need to, deal with it, I will deal with it. Any questions? Yes. Hold on. Let me give you the mic so that people at home can hear you.
Question was, you mentioned shin guards and socks, but I missed cleats. Do we need to have cleats?
So the question was, do we have to have cleats? No, absolutely not. We're playing on grass. Sometimes it's a little long, especially on the practice fields that don't get mowed as much as the game fields. So no, you don't. Sneakers are fine. If you want to have cleats, you can. Try to make sure you get soccer cleats. If you don't know the difference, ask someone at the store, because I see a lot of baseball cleats and some football cleats, and those are a little bit dangerous. It's a different kind of cleat. It's shaped differently. It's usually a little bit sharper in a way. So soccer cleats, please, only, but not necessary. Yes. Do kids need to bring their own ball? Yes. So preferably, I'm going to give the coaches at least 3 balls each if you don't already have some. But yes, you should bring your own. So 4U, 6U, and 8U use size 3. 10U and 12U use size 4. And 15U uses size 5. Okay? So when you go to the store, make sure you're getting the correct one. When you go to play it against sports, make sure you get the correct size. Because, yeah, that's what you're going to play with in a game. So, yeah. Other questions? Other questions online? Yes? Correct. We do not provide goals. Some fields have goals. When I send out the sheet of fields that are available for practices, you can look right on there. They say 1 goal or 2 goals or no goals. So you can choose one of those if you want. If you choose another field, you can use cones, or you can I mean, depending on the age group, obviously for 4U and 6U, we're using goals that are 3 to 5 feet tall, 3 to 4 feet tall, 5 to 6 feet wide. So to get a pop-up goal for that age group makes sense. A pop-up goal for a team that's going to be playing with a goalkeeper on a bigger size goal doesn't really make as much sense anyway. You might as well just use 2 cones or buy 2 corner flags and just stick them in the ground as a goal. So we do have a few pop-up goals, but most of them I think are already out with most of our coaches that we're coaching in the spring. If I have any, I'll bring them out. I think I need to go back and look in the storage area. I will repeat the ball sizes for someone online. Sophia, 4 and under, 6 and under, 8 and under, use size 3. 10 and under and 12 and under, use size 4. And 15 and under uses size 5. Those are also listed on our rules on the website, as is the goal sizes, the field sizes, a lot of information like that, roster sizes, and so forth, roster maximums, roster minimums, and so on. And as far as the rosters go, coaches, there will be changes. There will be people that need to switch teams. If you've got spaces open on your roster, they may get filled off people registering late. There were people emailing me after I printed out your rosters that are withdrawing. There's people there's one child that's moving up an age group. So rosters are going to change from what you have in your hand, possibly. You could stay the same, but it's a very good chance that you might change. Any last questions? Yes. In different age groups? Tough one. So the question was, are siblings in different age groups going to be practicing at the same field or in the same area? Probably not. In the same area, hopefully, because it's based on where you live. But yeah, I mean, and that's something where we can look at it if you need to switch a team. But if you got a person in 10U and a person in 8U, they could be practicing on the same night at the same field, on the same night at different fields, on the different night at the same field, or the different night at different fields, to be honest. Hopefully, it's workable. But if it really comes down to like it's an impossibility, then let me know and I'll just see what I can do. Okay, good question. Yeah. Yes, correct. Shin guards are required for all. The question was, are shin guards required for 6U and 4U? Yes, you need small shin guards, but yes, they are required. And I would have required them at practice, to be honest, so that they're used to playing with them. Yes. What do you mean? You're the coach? So I'm taking this from you. Right. So you picked up Devin Lee's roster, who is over here. And so there's a coach out there somewhere that has your daughter's name on it, most likely. But you can certainly email me and I can double check. So the coaches get the roster, and then the coaches pick their practice time, and then the coaches reach out to you and say, you're on my team. And we practice on Wednesday night at Skills Park from 5 to 6 or whatever, right? So yeah, so you didn't see him on Coach Lee's roster, but you're probably on someone else's. Yeah, no problem. The schedules will go live by the end of next week, and I'm hoping sooner, but I give myself a cushion. I'm hoping early next week, but I said August 12th, which is Saturday. Other questions? All right, so here's what I'm going to ask. We have a lot of equipment outside in the hallway and the uniforms. I would really prefer if the 4U coaches went first, then the 6U, and you guys can just kind of figure it out by talking to each other, then the 8U, then the 10U, then the 12U, then the 15U, so on. The reason for that is most of the new coaches are in those very young age groups and need equipment, and I want to make sure that they get it. If you are a coach that's returning and you already have equipment, don't take extra just for the sake of taking extra if you can help it. If you really need it, let me know. And then also, after you get your 3 balls and your cones and your pennies and the pennies will run out, I promise. But we'll give out as many as we can, and I can get more if I really need to. But you can make do without pennies too. There's 3 kids in red shirts and 3 kids in blue and gray shirts. They're on the same team or whatever. But yeah, if you're a 6U, again, you'll get half as many pennies as are on your team. So whether there's 6 or 7 people on your team, you'll get 3 pennies because that's all you need. Put the 3 in the yellow, and the other team, just don't put somebody on the other team that's already wearing yellow or whatever color it is. All right. One more question online. Oh yeah. Thanks, Gary. So one of the coaches, so in 15 and under, just so people know, we have 4 teams from Aurora, and we also let 2 teams from Eastern Plains out in Bennett play in our league because they don't have enough to do a league by themselves. And we love that. It gives us 6 teams in 15 and under. And Carrie, I am 90% sure we are going to go with 8v8. Everyone that replied said they were fine with 8v8, and I know that your teams have 14 on it, so that's probably better for you guys, hopefully. But I will communicate that out, Carrie, to everyone in the next couple of days. Yep, thank you. All right, so again, the equipment is only for coaches. I have had some parents think, oh, I'll just take a ball. Leave it for them. If after you take your 3 balls and you want to wait to see if there's any balls left over after all the coaches are done, you can have whatever is there. I don't want to keep stuff in storage that could be used, but I just want to make sure everybody gets some. Okay. All right. Thank you guys for coming. Have a great night. 7:30 on the dot.